Good morning, and my name's Jed Smith, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about one of Australia's most sustainable ocean terminals, Mirrat. So Mirrat stands for Melbourne International Ro-Ro and Automotive Terminal. Just to give you a little bit of background on the project, Melbourne as a city is one of Australia's busiest ocean ports. So over the next few years, we're seeing population growth, infrastructure projects, and that's all driving further demand on the port infrastructure. So in 2012, the Port of Melbourne decided that they need to expand the port infrastructure of Melbourne, and part of that they released a project called the Port Capacity Project. So it was a $1.6 billion investment in expanding and renewing some of the port infrastructure in Melbourne. So through a lengthy sort of tendering process, Mirrat was awarded the submission to construct, design, and ultimately operate the new automotive terminal in Melbourne. So just to give you a bit of a shipping 101 lesson quickly, when we refer to Ro-Ro, it's short for roll on, roll off cargo. So it's an alternative shipping form to containerized shipping. So if you think of it's a different type of vessel. It's sort of if you think of a floating car park. So some of these vessels can hold 8,000 cars in one hit, and they're delivering the new cars into Victoria. They also have a little bit more diversity in the cargo they're using. New agricultural equipment, mining equipment, anything with wheels really will be serviced through this new terminal. So when the award was given, Mirrat is part of a global network of terminals. So there's 12 terminals globally that we're a part of, and that network have had a vision since about 2008 on creating a zero emissions terminal. So when you think of the terminal environment, it doesn't really bring up images of green, environmental, sustainable sort of things. It's ships, trucks, cars, all heavy emission pieces of cargo. So as we're responsible for bringing those ships into the local community, we want to make sure that what we're doing from our part as the terminal is reducing our impact. So there was a concept done in 2008 called the Caster Green Terminal, and that was with the vision of creating a zero emissions terminal. So if you think of sort of how a car company will bring out a concept car, we did the same thing with a terminal. So looked at using a lot of different alternative energy, renewing waste, capturing rainwater, all these sorts of things that we can build into a terminal infrastructure to help reduce the impact. So we had a few sort of goals that we wanted to set. One was to become a new global benchmark. This was the first opportunity we've had to build a terminal from scratch. So it's a completely greenfield site that we developed. So we were able to take a lot of those ideas and concepts and put them into the construction of the facility from the beginning. So new global benchmark, and we also want to make sure it's of a high quality and then reducing our carbon footprint. So we had the concept and the ideas of what we wanted to do. The next part was to put together a team of people who could help us realise these goals. So we went about through a lengthy sort of process. We awarded what we feel was a very strong team, very passionate team that shared a lot of the values that Mirrat has in terms of environmental infrastructure and delivering sustainable projects. So the team consisted of the main contractor, CPB. We also had Arcadis and Plus Architecture, and also Wally Parsons helped on the design as well. So the challenge we set to them was, as I said earlier, we wanted a global benchmark. We wanted a terminal that could be looked at for future development and used as a template. So we pursued international best practice. We also set a couple of environmental accreditation challenges for them. One was we wanted to see an ISCA excellent rating for the facility. We also wanted a 5-star design award from the Green Star Building Council. want to maximise the recycled material we were using in the facility, and obviously to build up the competency of local suppliers. So with future projects, the knowledge base is there in the local supply chain to be able to feed these projects. So the outcome of the project was very pleasing. It exceeded a lot of our expectations. So we were the first project in Victoria to receive an excellent rating from ISCA. The building exceeded our ambition of a 5-star rated facility. It was awarded a 6-star from the Green Building Council. It's the first facility in our global network to achieve such high sustainability accreditation. So it is becoming that template and that benchmark that we wanted to set. It's so much so that it's been used in the UN Global Compact as a case study for developing sustainable infrastructure. And all of that sort of culminated in being awarded the 2016 ISCA Leadership in Infrastructure Award, which we're very pleased to receive last year.
My name's Anthony Bizignano, and I was part of the project team from CPB Contractors, which delivered this project for Mirrat. And just want to talk about, I suppose, a couple of the big case studies, 2 big ticket items that really set this project apart from all the others in the sustainability space. And in the first instance, it is very much the volume of recycled materials that we used on this project. Being a greenfield site, you're always looking for how can you get more sustainability outcomes, and it's by reducing the embodied carbon dioxide in your construction costs. So for us, it was using recycled materials wherever we could, and it started with bulk fills with recycled brick products rather than traditional quarry products, using drainage materials made of high density polyethylene pipe rather than recycled reinforced concrete pipe. It was using recycled glass sand as a backfill material for those pipes and drainage utilities, and very much pavement materials using crushed concrete products, asphalt with recycled asphalt product in it, right through to concrete with crushed concrete aggregate, reduced cement content, and all the like. And although these materials aren't new by any stretch, they're used on many projects across Victoria. It's the sheer volume of material that we incorporated. As you can see on the slides, 260,000 tonnes of material across the full duration of the project, and there were plenty of days when we were seeing over 5,000 tonnes of material through the gate for a good couple of months. And the only way we're able to achieve that is by working really closely with some key suppliers in the Alex Fraser Group, who provided all of our crushed rock, concrete, recycled asphalt product, and the very like. So the second case study is clearly utilising a remote area power supply. For those who don't know what a remote area power supply is, it's simply a generator hooked up to a battery, and it produces energy. The generator gets stored in a battery, and we use it to power our site sheds, all the facilities on sites, from toilets and crib sheds and the various bits and pieces. We attached a solar panel array to that system and a very smart computer which monitors all those 3 things, and it totally generates power for our site, uninterruptible 3-phase power, without using the generator for what traditionally is all the time. So it was a first in construction in Australia, and it was very much something that I suppose we could do as CPB contractors to differentiate ourselves from everyone else. And although it was the first time that we've used such technology and infrastructure, it did provide great benefits. It did save, I think, 10,000 litres of biodiesel over a 12-month period, which I think equated to about $5,000. And although it's quite a small saving, it was this proof of concept for us that we're able to do it in the first instance and get a positive outcome. And since then, our suppliers and subcontractors in Green Power Solutions and Daycam Electrical have innovated on this concept and have produced a second generation machine which is 3 times larger, can save 50% of fuel for future projects, and we've already seen that on many of our construction sites across Victoria which are using this technology to power our site sheds. And again, we could only do that by working closely with our suppliers, much like we did with Alex Fraser.
Okay, so some of the, I guess, the learnings and the top tips that we have from this project are, number one for us was making sure that your partners, you're selecting the right suppliers, the right partners who share in the vision. And then it's also about making sure that vision is communicated to your partners, so that they can then go away internally, excuse me, and use that to deliver the project to the standards you want.
Yeah, very much so. It was very much, I suppose, getting that knowledge from Jed, getting it into our company, writing it into a contract, having those conversations throughout the projects that we were driving, continually pushing ourselves to get the right outcome, and ability to change on the fly. Whenever we come up with a greener concept, a new idea, it was very much the freedom to put it to these guys for their comment, feedback, and adjusting where we could and where we had to. And as you said, very much working with our key suppliers, Alex Fraser Group, Daycam, Green Power Solutions. These are all just some of the myriad of subcontractors we had that we were able to work with and get a better outcome.
Yeah. So, setting goals, picking the right team, and collaborating would be our three main takeaways from this experience.
Definitely.
Thank you.